CG. Everett in the ruck against Biglands. Biglands got the tap. McLeod soccers it off the ground. Gets the ball going forward for Adelaide. Laddams goes deep inside 50. Edwards over the top. Couldn't quite bring it down. The ball goes to the boundary.
Well, again, looks like the Adelaide side are going to line up with a relatively small forward line. Welsh and Edwards have started inside 50. Perry looks like likely to play that centre-half forward role a bit higher up the ground.
So deep in attack for the Crows. Biglands works his way to the front. Tried to get it down to Goodwin. Barlow played in defence on Hamill last week. Crawford to Smith. Got boot to ball, but put it out of bounds on the full. So a chance for Laddams. 40 possessions in the SANFL last week with North Adelaide after playing the first 9 games of the seasons for the Crows. Got a last-minute reprieve this afternoon with Wayne Carey not taking his position in the selected side. He's a sharpshooter, Laddams. 24-21 in his career. 38th game coming up this afternoon from the boundary line. Laddams for an ideal start for the Crows. Magnificent kick at goal. First blood to Adelaide.
Well, that's certainly the way you want to come back into the side and get yourself started straight away. He's a good player, Laddams. Sometimes surprising that he finds himself out of this Adelaide lineup, but you know, he's got all the quality of a forward that can actually go up into the midfield as well, and that was a wonderful goal from the boundary line.
Well, he's moved 11 goals for the season now. I was surprised that when he left the Bombers, because he looked like he's a player who's got this beautiful skill on the left side, and we can see there Stone and Perry, they've been at it. As soon as they shook hands or met for the first bounce, they've been at it. So a little bit of heartburn. Biglands beaten by Everett. The Hawks just need an early goal, just to lift the confidence. Vandenberg from the edge of the centre square. Kicks wide to the wing. Risciuto is in hot pursuit. Vandenberg goes hard. Followed up the kick. Squeezed up on the boundary line. Finally over the line for a toss back in.
Well, he'll want to be right on his game today, Richie Vandenberg, because he's been given the task by Peter Schwab of going with McLeod, so that's a real big job for him today.
Saw him do a great job once on Nathan Buckley. So Buckley wouldn't be as quick as McLeod. That's one of the problems. Again, a boundary throw in. Bench for the Hawks. There's Tony Liberatore down there for the Hawks, having a great season as coach of the Box Hill Hawks. Of course, coached by Terry for many, many years. Enjoying his new role in game, playing, well, with coaching these days with the Hawthorn Football Club. McLeod, that's where the danger is. To Begley, who's been very good for the Crows since coming across from the Saints. And Edwards on the stretch has marked in front of Graham. 12 goals for the season to this man.
It's a very strong mark over his head for not a tall player, and a player that you really look at him more as being a mobile midfield type player coming out of the goal square. That's a lovely mark against a taller opponent in Graham.
So the Crows have started well. This for their second goal in just 2 minutes of action. Tyson Edwards from right on 50, leans back, starts to bend it back, and kicks a goal.
Well, a wonderful start from the Adelaide side. The way that they got the ball out of this boundary throw-in, just too easy. The Biglands was just allowed to virtually give it lace out to his smaller running players, and it was well set up. McLeod's going to be dangerous if he gets that sort of access to the ball.
So a great start for the Crows. 2 goals in the opening 4 minutes. Possessions 10-5, so incredibly efficient. Just 10 possessions for 2 goals. Back in the middle. Everett got his hands on it. There's McLeod, wrapped up by Campbell. Crawford in there as well, as was Vandenberg. We'll have a bounce. We spoke about confidence, Terry. It's important for Hawthorn to get on the board early so they feel they can get into this game.
Yeah, it is. Look, I wouldn't be too panicky at the moment. You wouldn't want Adelaide to get another 1 or 2.
Pachoni, wrapped up by Smart. Didn't get the ball away. Umpire said it was held to him. We'll have another bounce. Biglands and Everett the tap. Down to Cox. Towards half forward. Rawlings out of position. Slapped it to ground. Crawford hit it at pace. Hart, tackled by Dixon. Missed the body of Bassett. Ball still alive, only momentarily. Johncock comes across, lays some body on Dixon. We'll have a throw in inside 50 for the Hawks. They're about 25 metres out from their goal. Campbell against Smart in the ruck. Vandenberg, Mitchell there as well. Taken high in the tackle. And a chance for the Hawks to register for their first score for the afternoon through Sam Mitchell, who really has been one of the shining lights for Hawthorn this year. 9 games, averaging 14 possessions and 5 clearances. Important, that side of his game, Terry. He's one of the few players in the side who really can get in there and win the contested ball in close.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot in it, but he was first in and under.
So here's Mitchell. It's 2 goals, 1 in his 19-game career. Just tugs it to the left. Didn't quite make the distance. Brown to tidy up for the Hawks. Flips it backward to Crawford on the left. Screws it back towards the goal line. Hasn't got the carry. It's right there. It's still alive. Unbelievable. Prosciutto. And the Crows are away from defensive 50. Good mark to Biglands. Centre wing. Thought about the give to Goodwin. Went himself. Inside 50. Quick transition from the Crows. Over the back of the contest between Edwards and Graham. Graham gets back first. Advantage paid. Handball to Crawford. And they work it out to Hay. He goes short. Finds Paccioni in some traffic. Trying to get free. Releases Hay around the outer side. Has a bounce. Dumps to half forward, but Bassett just gets into the hole in front of Holland and takes the relieving mark.
Then rockets the ball to Massey. Comes away. Goes wide. Finds Gallagher. Wants to set it up short. Going to ground. Want to keep your footing. Chance now. Osborne to Vandenberg. Goes short. Too much carry on the ball. Finds McGregor. Already we can see the Hawks keen to play on, Terry. I reckon the instructions today is take a lot of risks. Back yourself in from behind. That time, good, strong punch. That came from Stone. Taken by Barlow. Goes short. Finds Cox. Again, rebound football to Osborne. Short to centre half forward and finds Rawlings. He's taken the most marks this year for the Hawks. Jade Rawlings, too far out the score. Shocking kick. Finds McGregor, who sets it up to Tawney. Just weighs up his options and goes wide. Perry was the target, hits him on the chest. Tyson Edwards on a long, long lead. That's been ignored. Perry just pops it up. And Biglands takes a slips catch. Too far out the score. Smart from the front edge of the goal square for the Crows. Edwards also just lurking. And Goodwin. So they've got some big guns in the square. Smart from behind. Couldn't take it. Edwards, the danger man. Had it and lost it. Lanhams pushed off his opponent. Prosciutto smothered off the boot. Crawford, with strength, crashes his way through. Trying to lift the Hawks today. Vandenberg, a strong player in the clinches, goes wide. A good shove out that time by Rawlings. Can't take it. For a toss back in.
Well, I think you're right, KB. I like the style that Hawthorn are trying to get going. They've got more run in their game today, but they've just got to be able to hit their targets. If you're going to play a possession game of football, you've got to be able to use the ball on the way through.
Everett and Biglands on centre wing. Everett getting his hands on the ball first. Vandenberg got the job playing on McLeod. It was strong arm tactics, but it's a throw. So Gallagher's got it. He's on the edge of the centre square. The Crows open with 2 straight goals. The Hawks yet to score. Welsh on a lead in front. Pushed under the contest. Recovers well. Rockets off the ball. Tried to find Begley. Too much carry on the ball. Osborne quick to recover. Paccioni runs hard. It was a look-away handball. Caught Osborne by surprise. Coming through strongly that time was Hart. It was a hard attack. Taken away by Begley. Goes short. Marking out in front is Welsh.
Chance for the Crows to go forward through Smart. To Bickley from 65. Attacks the square. Perry and Edwards there. Edwards lurking at the back. Fortunately for the Hawks, it spilled to the front. Cox to Crawford to Graham. He's under pressure. Back to Crawford. Campbell. He's going to get run down as well. Umpire said it was just taken over the shoulder and the Hawks dodge a bullet.
Well, Campbell might have been a little bit lucky there. He just took a little bit too much time to execute the hand pass and was caught, but obviously just got him a little too high in the action.
So Campbell, inside his own defensive 50, just gets up a little bit gingerly, a bit proppy. Wants to go short and finds Smith. Second touch for Joel Smith. Crawford leads the game with 5 for the Hawks. Cox, Osborne and Vandenberg with 3 apiece. While for Adelaide, Bickley and Gallagher all have 3 possessions. Smith towards the wing. Piccioni tried to work Begley under it. Socket off the round by Cox. It just pitches inside the boundary line. We'll have a throw in. Offset boundary side. Here's Mark Doran.
Campbell coming off the ground, Jason. He went down just a few seconds before that last clash we saw. The doctor came out. He said he was okay, but gone now.
Bigland's a tap. Goodwin gathers just inside the boundary line. High ball. And Vandenberg stands underneath it. There's Goodwin. The Hawthorn medical staff just motioning to the Adelaide medical staff. They better get down there and look at Simon Goodwin. He's up against the fence and in trouble. McLeod to half forward. Edwards takes the mark. The Adelaide medical staff have gone flying down the other end of the bench and are with Goodwin now. Inside 50. Punched away by Hay. Rashudo to gather the loose ball. Handball to Welsh. He'll go inside 50. Bateman there. And the Hawks work it around through Stone. To Graham. Now Goodwin hasn't actually come back onto the ground, so they've had 17 men. The man who did just come on is Doughty. And the ball now goes to the boundary line. So Goodwin was crunched up against the fence, never returned to the playing field. And here it is on replay. Just put off balance. And landed heavily in the fence. Doughty's now come on to replace him as we head to Mark Doran.
It's that right shoulder of Goodwin. You could see it there just get crunched into the corner of the fence. It's actually cement up against the advertising hoardings, and they were playing with his shoulder, now his wrist. So that was put out to break his fall. If we can just see it, there's the hand there, breaks the fall, might have got caught in amongst the cement. That is not good news.
Everett to half forward. Cox did well. Beat his opponent in Begley. Piccioni releases Rees. He can kick to the goal square. Holland wrestling with a couple to beat. Hart almost a spectacular mark. Still alive for the Hawks at ground level. Bassett wrapped up in a tackle. We'll have a bounce 20 metres out from the Hawthorn goal.
Well, we just had Jade Rawlings there who was calling out why he didn't get a free kick. He put his hands over the ball and the Adelaide player just really lunged at the ball with his feet. I think he was very unlucky and had every right to ask the umpire why it wasn't paid.
Just 20 metres out from the Hawks goal. Just a goal to lift the confidence, but taken away by Toyney. He's been picking up Crawford. Rockets the ball back, and Smith backing back takes it for the Hawks. Again, it's just rebound football, like throwing a ball against a brick wall for Hawthorn. They want to keep the ball moving. They're trying to get something going, the Hawks. Bateman kicks the ball in. Campbell-Brown couldn't take it. Tapped down that time. It was clever play. Massey does well. Finds McLeod. Dances on a dollar. And then with great vision goes wide. Barlow very quickly on the scene. Crunches Doughty. They've paid the advantage and Smart's on the charge. Hits the centre wing. Inside 50. Here comes Welsh. Magnificent kick by Smart. And Welsh, leading hard, has got it. You can see the angle, it's tight. He'll be shooting from outside 50. Kicked 3 goals for the season. Last week, just his second game. Today, for the year. A very important player for the Crows. Great camera angle. Way off target. And through for a behind.
Well, I would think that the way that Adelaide's going, to me, and I'll ask Mark Doran later on, but just I reckon it's a 2 or 3 goal advantage to Adelaide for those watching at home. Just the ball seems to be carrying further that way.
An enormous breeze when you look at the flags. Interesting that Hawthorn decided to kick into it in the first turn. Crawford to Vandenberg through the middle. This is what Hawthorn needs, some run to open up the forward line. Ritchie runs to 50, goes to Holland. Couldn't quite. McGregor was alongside him, brought it to ground. And now Johncock. It's going to come back in. So it's only as far as Barlow. Barlow goes short to the 50. Rashudo comes across the Vandenberg lead. Strong body to Gallagher, to Rashudo, to McLeod. Handball intercepted. Crawford. He's got a man inside 50. Cox. Adelaide so good at getting numbers back, Terry. We saw just before Scott Welsh had his shot at goal, there must have been 25 to 30 players inside Hawthorn's defensive 50, and of course that means that Adelaide can keep theirs wide open. The way around it is to get it in quickly like Hawthorn did then.
Yeah, well, I think that's the way you've got to play it, sort of get your numbers back, especially kicking with the breeze, and then sort of run the ball up with the breeze.
So here's Simon Cox. Here's a beautiful kick. Just 1 goal, 2 for the season. From 48 metres into that breeze, and it does hold up. That's the second time that the Hawks have got it almost to the goal line and not scored. Dixon flips it back to 50. Pachoni committed his body. Got it to Reese. Kick partly smothered. Tallis, he scrambles one forward. The bouncing ball eludes a couple of Crows. Brown, back to Tallis. Snaps. Misses. That is a brutal breeze down there as we head down to Mark Doran.
Jason, Simon Goodwin now with ice on the wrist. They suspect that it might have been broken or fractured. He has been able to just stretch it a little bit. As you can see, that's where the point of contact happened. The pain he was in there, he still is in pain, but the good signs are that he's able to stretch the hand. He certainly won't be taking any more part in this match.
See him looking straight at his wrist as he landed then. Here's Osborne off the pack. Hawthorn having a good couple of minutes, but they need to convert on the scoreboard. Bassett, the punch. Pachoni, the crumb. Evades Begley. Handball. Osborne, the overlap. Bateman, 35 out. And again, they tug it to the right-hand side for no score. So they have had some deep attacking forays, Terry.
I think they're playing okay. I don't think there's a lot between the two sides. If they can go in a quarter time only a couple of goals down, it's definitely scoring in the other way.
McGregor to Edwards, only as far as Everett. Important hand on it. Here's Graham. And he goes towards half forward. The kick just sat up, and it's picked off by Andrew McLeod.
Got to play in front because the ball will drop short. McLeod was clever enough to do that. Tawney just ambles away. Look at that kick. Monster kick. Plenty of carry. That'll hearten Peter Swab because the Hawks have done well in this first quarter.
You just got to look at that kick and say that it might actually be a 3 to 4 goal breeze, KB.
That's a monster kick. And you can see the ball holding up when the Hawks go forward. They are trying to run the ball. So the Hawks only won the 3 games this year. Constantly in the news. Lack of effort, lack of performance. Here's a chance. Pounce on that time by Gallagher. High ball to the square. Getting back is Graham. And he marks. The veteran. Game number 194 today. Back in the side after being dropped. Can be a very important player. Such an attacking defender. This is a wild kick. And he's kicked the touch.
Breeze helped on that occasion, KB. Just held it up.
Well, that's the area of Hawthorn's game. They've just got to pick up at the moment. I think they're playing good football as in winning possession of the ball, but they've given it back too often in the first part of the game.
So Everett comes charging in. He's got Marsh to beat. Got his hands on the ball. Was pinched by Tyson Edwards. He's pulled it and through for a behind. 1-1 to Tyson Edwards. 2-2 to the Hawks. They lead by 13 points. Just under 7 minutes left. Cox to bring the ball back. Finds Crawford. Possession number 8. The run comes from Hay. That'll bring a smile to the Hawthorn fans. Jonathan Hay charging out of defence. He was looking for Brown. Going in very hard. Couldn't quite take it. Was Rawlings. Cross centre wing, Pachoni. Playing against his old side. Vandenberg's been handy in this first quarter. Ball dropping short. Pushing out that time was Dixon. Didn't get picked up. Kicked off the ground by McLeod. He'll need support. Coming hard was Holland. McGregor playing in front. And McLeod cleans up. The champ comes away from half back. Those loping strides and then a punishing kick. Magnificent kick. Finds Laddams. Onto that trusty left boot. Spots it. Targets Begley. Beautiful kick. Great play by the Crows.
Well, one has to ask how Begley and Welsh were both sitting inside 50, virtually with only one man between the two players. And you just wonder how they got that clear. Great play by McLeod. It picks up a metre in about 3 metres, and he's just a wonderful player.
And Begley's been a terrific pickup from St Kilda as well.
Nathan Bassett just getting the dislocated finger snap back in, KB.
Doesn't hurt when you're just watching. Begley from 48 metres out with the breeze right across the face of goal and through for just a minor score.
I reckon I'd miss about 4 weeks if I had an injury like that, Terry. I'd be calling in sick. AFL footballers just get it snapped back in and away they go again.
Don't kid yourself, Jason. You missed 6.
Hasn't kicked a goal this year, James Begley, so maybe he's got the yips.
So Cox to bring it back into play. Hard to get much penetration from fullback this afternoon into that howling gale. Graham over the top takes the mark. This is where Hawthorn need to break hard and run it forward as they can't kick long into the breeze. Smith shut down. Crawford back to Graham. Great pressure from Adelaide. A full court press, if you will. Barlow played on. Umpire said he didn't. Very fortunate.
Lucky.
Goes short to Graham. Again, they're going to try and run the football. It's the only option into the breeze. Bateman. Past Cox. Tallis taken to the line by Laddams. Adelaide are playing the breeze very, very well, Terry. They get it, and obviously they use it to their advantage by kicking long, open forward line, and then really pressing hard up the ground to make Hawthorn work hard into it.
Yeah, but they haven't really put it on the scoreboard yet. I don't think 2 goals is enough with the breeze that they have.
Mitchell flips it over the top to Bateman. High up and under. Will almost come back at him in this win. Rawlings harassed by Bassett. Mitchell on the bottom of the pack. Will have a bounce. Is there any logic at all into kicking into the breeze in the first term, or would it be a case that Shane Crawford wasn't sure which way the breeze was going?
Oh, no, look, I just thought that perhaps what they said was if we could be really competitive early in the game, and then as the game settles down, then we've got 2 goes at it.
Everett the tap. Let us hope the breeze doesn't swing around in the meantime. Barlow. Begley taken down. Ferocious tackle from Barlow and Mitchell. And the Hawks have been scrapping in close this afternoon. Clearance is 7-6 in favour of Adelaide. Robert Campbell, we mentioned, was ginger earlier in the quarter. Came off, saw some medical treatment and is now just hobbling around the boundary again. We'll hear from Mark Doran shortly. Cox slaps it inside 50 for the Hawks. Gallagher first back onto it. Uses Bassett. He goes by hand to Hart. Towards the outer wing. Marsh brought it to ground. Crawford gathers. Flips to Cox. Cox by hand to Vandenberg. Been prominent, 7th touch. Inside 50. Chance for the Hawks. Osborne couldn't quite. Paccioni at ground level. Ferocious second effort from Gallagher. First the spoil, then the tackle. He saves the day for Adelaide. James Gallagher leads the game for the Crows with 8 touches. Crawford. He's set upon by Rashudo. Taken high. And the skipper will line up for his 11th possession for the quarter. Had just 15 for the entire match last week. He's back to his best. That kick will drop almost straight. Rawlings got hands to it. John Cock at ground level. Over the top of it, Massey. Arm pinned by Dixon. The near-perfect tackle. 10 to 15 metres out from goal. The only question, prior opportunity.
No, I don't think there's prior opportunity. I think that's a correct decision, and all you can do is ball it up. Geez, that ball held up, KB.
It did. It goes to show you, if you play in front, that's the first thing you've got to do, kicking down towards the city end. So a chance for the Hawks. A goal against the breeze. They've battled hard. They've been strong in the clinches. There's Mitchell just trying to burrow his way out of trouble. Sam Mitchell for Hawthorn. Strongly built, and he has been very good in this first quarter. In fact, the Hawks have really attacked the ball. Bassett goes to the ground, and Hawthorn players pile on top.
Rain falling now, KB. Some light rain starting to fall, and that bright sunshine we saw not more than 10 to 15 minutes ago completely disappeared, and it's very black out towards the city side of the ground, which is where the weather comes from. There it is. It's like a different day.
Well, like a rugby scrum, the Hawks have forced it within 15 metres of goal. Rashudo, good hands, good touch. Hammers the ball back, looking for Begley. Kept his eyes on the ball. It was an awkward one. He did well. Gallagher is quick. Belts it off the ground. Smith, close to the boundary line. He'd be happy for the ball to go over. Let's go down to Mark Doran.
KB, Robert Campbell jogging just a little bit, although he's lying down again now. The physio working on his left knee or just below it. They're having enormous trouble trying to get him back on the park.
Goes by 14 points, 2-3-15. The Hawks, one behind, taken away by Doughty. to come onto the field to replace Goodwin. Stone playing in front, comes away from centre half back, just tumbles the ball forward.
Free kick going back.
Now the ball's coming back to Mitchell. He's got on the back edge of the centre square. Goes wide, finds Barlow, who in recent weeks has found himself as a defender. Just trying to strengthen up that Hawthorn defence. Vandenberg wants it in the centre square. He's been ignored. So Barlow gets the hurry up from the umpire, goes wide. You can see the ball very difficult in the blustery conditions. Take away by Piccioni. Finds Bateman on the charge. Outside of 50, into the pocket. Too much carry that time for Dixon. And again, a boundary throw in just 30 metres around from goal as Campbell gets some attention.
Well, the Hawks have been in this position about a half a dozen times. If they could actually just pinch one now before quarter time, it would be it'd be probably worth 2 or 3 goals to them.
So Everett's come up for the ruck work. Marsh as well. 2 giants of the game. The ball again will also drop short from the boundary throw-in, so you've got to be smart. Tawney been very good since coming across from the Tigers. So the seconds are going to drift away here for Hawthorn as Tawney goes wide. It's a good kick because Hart can run onto the ball. You'll get support from McGregor. Feigned the handball. Goes wide. Welsh is the target. Close attention from Hay. Forced over. We've got a boundary throw-in.
With 10 seconds left on the clock, they're going to have to turn the lights on shortly. It is getting very, very black here at the MCG. Last 10 seconds of the quarter. Wide open forward line for Adelaide if they can win a clean ball. Smart tried to. Barlow got hands on it. Works it forward. Brown dives on top of it. Wraps it up. And it's quarter time at the MCG. You just tuned in and looked at the scoreboard. It's Adelaide 2-3-15. Hawthorn 1 behind. But Terry, not necessarily all that bad a result for the Hawks.
No, look, I don't think it was. I thought it was a pretty even quarter. You would suggest that 2 or 3 goal win should have Adelaide about that far in front. They've done a reasonable job, the Hawks, to hold them up after giving away 2 goals very, very early in the piece. But now we'll find out where it sits by half-time. Well, it really is just a dirty winter's day now at the MCG, and a big loss for the Adelaide side to have Goodwin out. He's quality player, quality user of the ball, and has been in very, very good form.
Let's just go back to the toss for a moment. It intrigues me. Is it the coach's decision, the captain's decision, and you both coached and captain sides? Is it something that you always have a set policy, you work it out week by week? How does it all work?
Well, I'd say first up, KB, that certainly as a coach, I would always want to go to my captain and speak to him and make sure that we had the decision together, a joint decision, but I'd always go with it.
Certainly kick with a breeze. Who knows what's happened later in the game. Could be raining cats and dogs by the time you get the last quarter. Players not able to handle the ball. I would always suggest to the captain, you must kick with the breeze.
Let's head boundary side. Mark Doran with Adelaide assistant coach Mark Micken.
Thanks, Jason. Mark, it wouldn't be very often as you get rid of the clipboard. All important information there that you keep aside to 1 point, but be disappointed to do that.
Yeah, I think, we gave them a little bit too much time and space, and we didn't make the most of the opportunities that we had. We're fortunate they didn't, capitalise on perhaps a few more of their opportunities.
Respect was one of the words I could hear Gary Ears yelling out. A few of your boys not paying enough of it.
Yeah, I think, we just gave them a little bit too much space, and that's what they want.
Okay, thanks for your time.
Okay.
And, guys, update on Simon Goodwin. He's been taken to hospital to have x-rays on what is a suspected broken wrist.
Thanks, Mark. Adelaide by 14 points, and conversely, it's not often you kick 1 point for the quarter, but come away at quarter time feeling all right about things, and that's where the Hawks would be at the moment. Now they've got the wind. Can they use it? Welsh. Goals into the breeze will be absolutely vital this afternoon. Hay comes crashing through. Good to see that in his game today. Just starting to grow in confidence, tucking the ball under his arm and running, and that's when he's at his most dangerous.
Yes, it is. He's been better over the last couple of weeks. Psychologically, Adelaide can do some real damage here if they actually kick the first goal in the game. I think that would really hurt Hawthorn. Hawthorn need to get on the scoreboard.
Everett and Biglands. Biglands, the tap. Going nowhere, really. They pile in on top of it. We'll have yet another bounce alongside the centre circle.
Well, they've got Holland and Dixon in the square, and they've got Rawlings at centre-half forward. You would think if Hawthorn can win enough of the ball and just belt it down to that hot spot in front of the goal square there, they can kick a few goals in this quarter.
Super opening term from the Hawthorn captain. Crawford with 12 possessions. Cox fists it forward. And as far as Begley, touched off his boot. Plenty of Hawks around this one. Cox again to Smith. He can thump it long. Rawlings works his way to the front. Hart with the defensive spoil. Ball to the line. So we'll see a change in game plans, Terry, where Adelaide will have to run into the breeze and Hawthorn can thump it long to their own advantage.
Yeah, already we've virtually seen McLeod playing a kick behind the game in the opening minutes. He's just got to sit back across the half-back line as much as possible.
Intriguing tactical battle this afternoon. Cox inside 50. Rawlings couldn't quite bring it down. Here's Dixon at ground level. Gathered by Rashudo. Kicks to open space. Edwards works hard to get there. Barlow, the body pressure, brought it to ground, did well. Little flip over the top. Bateman, back to Barlow. Another handball inside to Vandenberg. Releases Bateman, sold him into trouble. Ditto Rawlings. Slaps it inside 50. The Crows with numbers. Bassett charging through. Handball, beautiful gather on the half volley from Rashudo. And the Crows are away. Begley to Bickley. Inside 50. Perry punched away, comes to Burton. Tries to spin out of trouble. Releases Laddams. Bounces it to the goal square. Bounces it through for a goal into the wind. A big goal. And the Crows have got three. They're 3-3-21. The Hawks one behind. And now's the time Hawthorn's confidence and belief is really going to be tested.
Well, that hurts. Look, I think Hawthorn's played reasonable football at this stage, but Adelaide have set up pretty well in this second quarter. They're just getting their numbers back. Players like Rashudo and McLeod are going to play across the back end of the square, virtually as half-backs, and then try to run the ball up into the breeze.
Very good goal by Laddams. He's booted 2 goals. 3-3-21. Adelaide Crows, the Hawks just one behind as Biglands comes charging in. McLeod with those quick hands to Rashudo, smothered off the boot, smart. So the big guns getting their hands on the ball, the veterans as well. Bickley goes to ground. Bickley did well to John Cock, one of the young guns on a charge. McLeod just hammered the ball towards the half-forward line, taken by Smith. Forced Hay under a lot of pressure. Finally, the ball's over for a boundary throw-in. Jonathan Hay on screen, picking up Welsh. Crawford with 12 possessions, only 15 possessions last week against St Kilda, and 12 possessions in the first term for the Hawks. So leading by example, Shane Crawford today. Now Mitchell will take the free kick because he was caught high. Bateman comes away for the Hawks. Kicks long down towards the half-forward line. John Cock worked his way to the front. McGregor, a much improved player at centre-half back. Happy to step over the line.
It's interesting, KB, that the Adelaide side have put Mattner on Crawford. He's done a few of those sort of roles. It took Brent Harvey a couple of weeks ago and did a very good job in a particular game there.
Well, it's a boundary throw and a good 80 metres from Hawthorn's goal. Mitchell has been at the fall of the ball. Crawford caught, good enough to get the handball away. Cox rockets the ball away. It was a shocking handball. Didn't hit a target. Barlow was under pressure. Smart kicks it off the ground. Chance now. Pounced on by Joel Smith, and from 50 metres out, Joel Smith kicks a goal. Well, you can see the breeze there, Joel Smith on his non-preferred side. Plenty of carry on the ball as Campbell hobbles off.
Well, that was a very valuable goal for the Hawks. They really needed that one. I really like to see Joel Smith when he actually gets up the ground and plays as a running back rather than just playing in a defensive role as a almost a key defender. He just looks such a good player when he's up the ground.
So Campbell, Robert Campbell, back to the interchange bench. His left knee just not right. Joel Smith's goal comes 4.5 minutes into the second term. It's the one the Hawks needed with the wind. Margin back to 14 points. Ferocious attack on the football. And the Hawks just playing with renewed vigour. Campbell Brown and Chris Massey. There's Everett and Biglands. The young fella Kane up against Smart. Was Kane who went charging in moments ago into that pack. Playing his 5th game of football this afternoon. Tempesture's being frayed a little. And a free kick going to the Hawthorn captain. Adelaide wanting to put plenty of heat on Shane Crawford. He's looming as a crucial player in this contest with his 14th touch. Inside 50, Holland couldn't quite bring it down. Chance again for Smith at ground level. Inside 50. They'll fly 20 metres from goal. Prosciutto couldn't quite bring it down onto his chest. Piccioni working in close on the boundary line, goes backward and finds Bateman. So just 6 goals, 5 for Chance Bateman in his 28 games of league football. He goes short and finds Rawlings. Tight angle, deep in the forward pocket.
Well, they're certainly peppering. They've had a lot more inside 50s. We're seeing players like Joel Smith charging down the ground. They're playing good attacking football. They've just got to put it on the scoreboard.
Inside 50s, 19 to 12 in favour of the Hawks. Possessions 106 to 86. So they are getting plenty of it. Here's a chance for Rawlings to convert. Comes around onto the left. And the word shocker doesn't quite do it justice.
No, he wouldn't be pleased with that.
Understatement of the year from Terry Wallace. McLeod with the kick in alongside the behind post. But the Hawks have the momentum at the moment. They need to make it count on the scoreboard. McLeod dumps it high outside 50. Crawford floats across the front. Mitchell off hands. Holland taken in a tackle but got boot to ball. Rawlings rather to Vandenberg from the boundary line. Not quite. Just misses to the near side. But Hawthorn having a moment.
Well, they're really starting to pepper the goals. You can just get a feel that if they can actually get another one through, they're going to come with a surge.
As long as they don't go too wide, Terry, I think kicking with the breeze, you've got to go to the top of the square. If they do that, they'll put the Crows under a lot of pressure. The Crows still lead by 13 points. Coming across in front was Piccioni. Good work by Mitchell, doing a lot of tough stuff in close. Begley thought he had it and lost it. Mitchell goes to ground. The whistle's gone. Free kicks coming back to Massey. 3-3-21 the Crows. 1-2-8 the Hawks. Smart's got it across half back. What a player he's been for the Adelaide Crows. Looking for Welsh. Good body pressure that time by Hay. Forces it back over the line for a boundary throw-in. Just under 15 minutes left in this second term. Hawks there, 6-1, inside 50 this quarter. They still trail by 13 points. Biglands takes the front position. Crawford has been fantastic for the Hawks. He's had it 14 times. He's a man on a mission today. Now there's a free kick. And it's going to Laddams, and he's been a danger man. He's kicked 2 goals. Too far out to score into the breeze. Burton could be dangerous. The man with the big leap, Burton, couldn't get his hands on it for the second time. Taken away by Crawford. Working at both ends of the ground. Hammers the ball back towards centre wing. Vandenberg's been good. He's had the job on McLeod. Tumbles the ball towards the half-forward line. And there's Gary Ayres. 169 games with the Hawks, 5 premierships, 2 Norm Smith medals. Trying to bury his old club today.
Richie Vandenberg's been great. Averaged 18 touches a game last year, down to just 12 a game this year, so 50% down. He's already had 10 today.
He's really set himself for the job, obviously.
McLeod's had 11. Edwards got it to John Copp. John Copp with his 4th touch, only as far as Smith. Coming up for his 10th possession. Been important. Wants to move it quickly. Another man who's revitalised this afternoon is Cox. To Barlow. Inside 50 to that man, Crawford. Well, champions respond, and Shane Crawford is this afternoon.
Well, we spoke before the game about how he was down, and Robert Harvey really towed him up last week, but the only way you can respond, and it's good for it to see football played like this, where the guy sort of says, well, OK, I had a down one, I've just got to get back on, do what I do best, and he's just worked his backside off today.
4 goals, 3 for the season for Shane Crawford. Starts it out to the right, tries to work it back on the breeze. Still alive for Kane. Couldn't quite get boot to ball. Kane not able on that occasion. And Begley comes away. Handball to Bickley. To Gallagher. And around the outer side for Welsh. Beautifully weighted kick. Ben Kane, eyes lit up at the chance to kick his first goal in league football. Couldn't quite get boot to ball in time. Welsh to Laddams. 7th possession for him. Towards Prosciutto at 50. Tried to work Barlow underneath it. Boundary line the winner.
You've just got to feel that today is going to be a day of frustration, a day of patience, where you've just got to wait for your opportunities, just keep working, just keep doing what you know is right, and eventually it'll come. But there's going to be a lot of mistakes in the game.
Everett and Biglands at it again. Everett palmed it down into the path of Crawford. Bounce eluded him. Bateman wins the football. Hoiks it towards the wing. Here's Vandenberg again. Been explosive. Tries to slip away from McLeod and wins himself a free kick. Wants to keep going. Umpire paid advantage. Inside 50. Rawlings a couple to beat. And Ben Hart comes up with a party trick. Saves the day for Adelaide. To defensive 50. And Gallagher for his 13th touch. Leading the game for the Adelaide Crows. Short to McGregor. And he links up with Edwards at half-back.
This game has been played at a furious pace. That's a shocking kick. Edwards, hands and knees. Ball's coming back. Bateman will take the free. In the back. He's on centre wing. To Everett, who should unload. Getting back is John Cock. Fine young player, John Cock. As Massey hammers the ball back. He was looking for Welsh, pushed out of the contest by Hay. Hawthorn getting back in numbers. Kane finds Dixon, edge of the centre square. Ben Dixon, young man from Assumption College, goes wide and finds Rawlings. Jade Rawlings has been a gun player this year for Hawthorn. It's been a down year so far. He has booted 14 goals. And he's been a shining light up forward.
Well, the way it's set up at the moment, the Hawks are going to eventually get through. Adelaide have got all their blokes back in the defensive 50. Hawthorn have got all theirs across the middle of the ground. So it virtually makes it stay in that half.
Hawthorn supporters behind the goal will tell us the story as the roar goes up. Rawlings has kicked a goal.
Margin back to 7 points.
Well, they're just pummeling the ball inside 50 at the moment. The way the game's going to be played, you would expect that the Hawthorn side's going to kick quite a few extra goals because it's just been rebound football virtually from the centre of the ground down to the Hawthorn goals.
So Jade Rawlings kicks his 15th goal for the season. And the margin back to 7 points. We've gone 13 minutes in the second term. Everett down to McLeod. Couldn't break free. Mitchell, clean hands to Barlow. Hawks will go forward inside 50 again. Dixon. Not paid. Bassett at ground level. Bickley releases Massey to John Cock. Back to Massey, and the Crows want to run it round the outer side. Handball to Hart. Now it's Hawthorn putting the physical pressure on. Hart goes looking for Edwards. Dangerous kick. Great intercept from Barlow. Hawks have got their tails up. To Bateman. Takes Smart on by foot. Runs to 65. High ball to the goal square. Rawlings at ground level. John Cock taken down by Crawford. Ball still alive. Rawlings kick smothered off the boot. Dribbles through.
How good was Shane Crawford then? He's so desperate today, Shane Crawford. He's been fantastic. 16 possessions. The tackle then, and then clever enough then to tap the ball, virtually tunnel ball the ball back. Gave Hawks a chance.
He's playing a real leader's game, and that's what you expect from your captain.
Last week's performance certainly snapped all the focus on Shane Crawford back onto football, which in hindsight could be a very good thing for him. Bateman to Mitchell. Socket outside defensive 50, only as far as Bateman again. He's inspired in the second term. To Ladson. Ladson to Paccioni. Wheels around onto the right, Paccioni. He misses to the left-hand side. But behind, Hawthorn player down. It is Bateman. He's been everywhere in the second term. John Cock also slow to get up. It's been a physically punishing game from both sides. Adelaide have come out to test the Hawks physically. And Hawthorn have been happy to oblige. Bassett to the outer side. Dixon and Kane. And the ball goes out of bounds. My point about Shane Crawford, not so much that his focus has not been on his footy, Terry, but the rest of the football world's been looking at other things Shane Crawford's been doing. This week it's all been just about Shane Crawford's football.
Yeah, that's right. Look, he's probably been down over the last few weeks on his normal form, but he's had a great season all the same. Outstanding
this afternoon so far. 16 touches for the Hawthorn champion. Free kick on the ruck, and it's going to Spider Everett. Goes inside 50. Holland and Rawlings are tall timber. Free kick. Push. Hawthorn. It's going the way of Nick Holland. In fact, it's coming back to Rawlings. You can see it there against Ben Hart. So Jade Rawlings with the enormous breeze behind him. Pop this one up and give it a ride as Hawthorn make a double change. Pachoni and Kane off for Tallis and Osborne. The ball's with Rawlings. Could put the Hawks in front from right on 50. Starts it out to the left and misses. 1 goal, 2. Now to Jade Rawlings. The margin back to 4 points. We played 17 minutes in the second term.
And Pachoni walking around the boundary line. Along with Kane for the Hawks. Bassett to bring the ball back into play. Crows by 4 points. Bassett trying to pinpoint it. Does well, finds Hart, who's so quick. Youngest player ever to play for the Crows, does well, finds Marsh, who's on centre wing to the half-forward line. Burton's the target. The Birdman couldn't quite take it. McLeod came through hard. Risciuto tumbles the ball to the square. And a lucky bounce that time for Adams. Pushed back over the line for a behind by Campbell Brown.
Adelaide seem to be set up just a little bit better at the moment. They've gone back to a 6-man forward line. They were playing almost with a loose behind the play, but that was allowing Barlow and Smith to get free too often, and they were setting up the Hawthorn from the half-back line.
Adams has 2 goals for the Crows, and Tyson Edwards 1. And for the Hawks, goals to Joel Smith and Jade Rawlings. And Simon Goodwin has left with what looks to be maybe a broken bone in the wrist or hand, after being crashed into the fence by Shane Crawford as Hay thumps the ball back towards the half-forward line, and Brown, tumbling backwards, takes a beauty. Taken by Cox, stands and delivers. The target's Holland. Got it on the stretch. Dutchy Holland, directly in front, will shoot from 55. And this to put the Hawks in front for the first time today.
It was a good strong mark by Holland, but you wouldn't mind leading off Simon Cox. He's just a beautiful one-step kick on that left foot.
3 goals for the season. Holland leans back, unloads, hammers it home. Hawks in front.
Well, really, the style of game, it was only a matter of time, Jason, until the Hawks got themselves in front. They've just been pummeling the inside 50s. They've got enough quality players down there. They're eventually going to get a score.
Possessions for the term, 53-43 Hawthorn. Inside 50s for the quarter, 16-3. An amazing stat. But the Hawks finally made it pay on the scoreboard, and they lead. Hawks by a point, 19 minutes gone, second term, inside 50s, 16-3, as I mentioned, for the quarter. Remarkable statistic. Kicking with this strong breeze in the second term. Crawford wins the tap to Matner. Picked up by Edwards. Pushes wide, Beckley has to stand and wait. Here's Crawford again. Outstanding from the skipper. Barlow ran out of options. Toe poked it to Campbell Brown. He flips it over the top to the run of Tallis. To Everett. And the Hawks enjoying their football. It's probably been a while since we could say that.
Well, you could see that Everett really got on the end of that one. He just charged forward. He left Marsh, I would say, probably about 60 metres behind. Just ran into space and was used. The thing that Spider Everett is, he's just such a good finisher. This is just a vital goal for the Hawthorn side.
It's a chance for the Hawks to push forward. They've broken even after 20 minutes with the breeze in the second term. Everett from 50. Likes it off the boot. Claps it through. Hawks by 7 points. Well, it's come with a run, Terry. As we mentioned early in the quarter, they were feeling their way, trying to slowly build the momentum. And now they've unlocked the shackles and they're away.
Yeah, well, they are. Once again, Barlow was the initiator of that first action. He's been very good Crawford out in that wing, just his attack on the football was just wonderful to watch. They're playing with a lot of spirit. They just look lively. The next 5 or 6 minutes is going to be vital to break the game open.
Hawks by 7 points. They've booted 4 goals in the second term, and 3 of those goals have come from marks. So they're just pumping the ball into the goal square. Kicking long, Risciuto. Ball dropped short. Smart player today, you'd play in front. Mitchell, been great for the Hawks. Won a lot of tough contests as the ball bounces over for a toss back in. Just under 6.5 minutes left in this second quarter.
The big numbers, KB, on some of the Hawthorn players. Crawford 17 possessions, Barlow and Bateman both 15.
Gallagher's 13 and McLeod 11 leading possession winners. For the Crows, it's Risciuto trying to lift the spirits. Goes wide, looking for Laddams. Let's go down to Mark Doran.
KB, Chance Bateman has just come off the ground. You can see him there getting some treatment. I think he's basically been winded, but they're looking at his ribs. So already with Robert Campbell struggling to come back on, could be a vital blow to the Hawks.
Everett, inspired after that last goal, was looking for Crawford. Couldn't take it. Perry, good hands. Gets the ball across, finds Gallagher. Bouncing into the square, bouncing. Kicked off the ground by the Birdman. He's got it. Clever play by Brett Burton. The ball bouncing in the goal square. Here's McLeod, just didn't quite get the kind bounce he wanted, but clever play, quick thinking. And Burton has kicked a goal.
Well, they've just been real opportunists today, Adelaide. Every time they've gone forward, they've managed to be able to manufacture a goal.
Been efficient in the second term, Adelaide. 4 inside 50s for 2 goals. Hawthorn's lead back to 1 point. Crows will get the breeze in the third term. Will load up and do it all again. An exciting contest at the MCG. Crawford, 18th touch. Inside 50 for Ladson to run onto. McGregor puts his body in there. Doesn't try to get rid of it. It's underneath him. Umpire said it was held underneath him by the Hawthorn players. And a bounce right at 50. Crawford, Barlow, Bateman for Hawthorn, the 3 leading stat getters. And importantly, Vandenberg and Cox both rediscovering some aggressive form. The Hawthorn midfield benefiting from it this afternoon. Risciuto over the top of it as Bickley watches on. Yet another bounce. And it is important when you look, Crawford, Barlow, Bateman, Cox, Vandenberg, Mitchell and Smith have all had double-figure possessions, Terry. Last week, Hawthorn had just 1 player with 20 or more. That was Piccioni. So they're spreading the workload this afternoon. McLeod emerges from the congestion. Sets up Massey. He thumps it inside 50. Perry tracks back with the flight. Awkward bounce. Welsh slaps it to Laddams. He's a sharpshooter, Laddams. Didn't come off the boot at all well. And a lost opportunity for Chris Laddams. 2 goals, 1 for him this afternoon. And scores level as we approach the 25-minute mark of the second term. Enthralling contest.
Well, he's done well for a man that's coming to replace Wayne Carey. Kicked a couple of goals. It's been a handy replacement.
Yeah, been good. Just watch a replay of him there and just saw how much his jumper was blowing. The breeze is really strong.
Cox straight up the middle to Smith. Mitchell has to stand and wait, and does. 12th touch for him to the run of Barlow. Off the front edge of the centre square. Dumps it long over the head of Everett. And through from behind to Chris Barlow. But as we see, that kick's gone 65 metres on the breeze, Terry.
He's been outstanding, Chris Barlow, coming off the half-back line. He would have probably been disappointed that it didn't finish with a goal.
Bassett's got it. The Hound goes wide, drops it in short, finds Massey. He's been handy today across half-back. Hasn't yet really got himself a permanent position on the side, and Welsh on the stretch takes a great grab. Ward's centre-half forward, test the strength. Perry taken out of the contest that time was Tawney. To the square, playing in front. Burton caught behind. Holland kicks it off the ground on the full. Hawks by a point. There's a tough angle by Burton, who's kicked the goal in this second term, kicked it off the ground. This will take a little bit more skill. Right across the face. Out of bounds on the full, or touched. Touched it is. Still a chance for the Crows. Boundary throwing right in the forward pocket. Marsh to do the ruck work. Holland having a run on the board. Peter Everett having a spell down at full forward. Campbell, of course, who can do a bit of ruck work, has been limping in this game for the Hawks. Mitchell working hard. Carries the ball towards half-back for a boundary throwing.
Mitchell did a very good job there, KB. Adelaide had set up the boundary throwing to leave space on the goal side. Mitchell left his direct opponent, went and sat in the actual hole and just read the play off the hands.
Holland to Mitchell again. Speak of the devil. Arguably playing his best game for Hawthorn today, Sam Mitchell. And again, he forces the ball to the half-forward flank. So down will come Holland again with Marsh, so it's take two, but 35 metres further afield. It's on the half-forward flank for the Hawks. Marsh worked his way into position, looking for Massey, the juggler. Taken away by Edwards, goes to ground. Holland shovels the ball out to Mitchell. Standing off the play, stands in, delivers to the half-forward line, to centre half-forward. They need a crammer. Pounced on this time by Joel Smith. Magnificent play by Smith from 35 metres out. He's drilled it. 2 goals in this quarter to Joel Smith coming down from half-back, and both have been on the left side.
Well, that's the Joel Smith I like to see. I just think he's such a better player when he's allowed to play a free-flowing game, running down the ground. Just seems to be getting his confidence back in his game, and that's a tremendous goal on the left foot. Just nice poise, was tackled, didn't panic, just got himself balanced and kicked the goal.
Joel Smith kicks his second, an absolute pearler. I think he might have tripped the light fantastic there, KB. Shade to Barishnikov.
Yes. Quick footwork.
Marsh the tap, Prosciutto the free kick. 12th touch for Mark Prosciutto. Goes out wide to McGregor. Tracks back, takes the mark, despite the pressure from Crawford. McGregor 6th touch. Will go inside 50. Huge pack of players. Graham flew high. Hay almost brought it down. Barlow. The Hawks are away. Here's Mitchell again. Been creative this afternoon with his 16th touch. Just kicks it out wide. McGregor. Brown will have 2 to beat. McGregor will try to keep it in. He's got a man in support in the end. Forced to take it to the line. Less than 2 minutes remaining. The Hawks have it 85 metres from their own goal. Good chase from Campbell Brown. Everett got a palm on it. Prosciutto at the bottom of the pack. And another bounce. Clearances 21-19 in favour of Hawthorn. They'd be pretty happy with that result so far.
They've been very competitive in that area today. It's been a real improvement.
Inside 50, 34-18 in favour of the Hawks. Remarkable. Dowby just shows how efficient Adelaide have been. Gone inside 50 18 times for 4 goals. The Hawks have gone inside 34 times for 5 goals.
Well, there's 2 ways to look at that. You either have a situation where you say, if you're Hawthorn, if you can repeat that in the second half, they can't beat you. But the other problem is if Adelaide start getting their hands on the ball, you know they can score.
Doughty can't emerge from the congestion. We know that's Adelaide's game plan, is to win it in close and then explode in all directions into open space and use their foot speed. The Hawks have been good enough to shut them down in close this afternoon.
It's very unusual to see Adelaide have such a small amount of inside 50s.
Marsh towards the line, Mattner and Crawford. Crawford keeps it alive, only as far as Massey. Uncertain of his options, under pressure up against the line to Begley. There's Crawford. Might just have a corky. We'll keep an eye on him. To Marsh. Cox did well, created a contest, kept it alive. The ball goes out of bounds. There's Shane Crawford. Limping. That would be terrible luck. slow to get up from that one. He's grabbing the left thigh, maybe a bit of a cork. And the side of the knee even. 18 possessions for Crawford so far. Edwards, cop one right in the face. Smart from 65. They'll contest 25 from goal. No contest in the end. There's Tyson Edwards. They'll have to stop the game for the blood rule. And there's injuries aplenty. Ben Marsh is limping to the boundary line. Edwards is on the outer wing. He's bleeding profusely from the nose. So we'll stop play for Tyson Edwards' blood rule. And here's Marsh.
Crawford's on hands and knees as well, on the outer side of the ground with a trainer beside him. Seems to be the left side of the knee, the left knee, as Marsh is carried off.
So here's Edwards. Just copped an accidental elbow or backhander there from Mitchell, I think it was. Marsh being carried off. He did his himself.
Mitchell had blood coming from him as well. He's just come off the ground as well, so we've got him everywhere.
Ladson at half back. Just holds it up. There's Edwards. Huge amount of claret around his nose. Inside 50, hasn't been spotted by the umpire. Play still carrying on. Surely Edwards would be coming off. Ladson goes again, ground level. As the siren sounds for half-time. There's Tyson Edwards. He is absolutely dripping from the nose. Blood everywhere, reminiscent of Angelo Lekkas last week, in fact. And what a cracking game of football we've got at the MCG this afternoon. It's half-time. Hawthorn are 5-6-36. The Crows are 4-5-29. Doran.
Yes, indeed. Let me see if I can tick him off. Ben Marsh has cartilage damage to his knee, so he won't come back on. They haven't heard from Simon Goodwin yet. Just checking with the earpiece. No, haven't heard from Simon Goodwin yet, so we're not sure whether he has a broken wrist or not. Shane Crawford has had his right thigh strapped up, and he is out there, although not looking great. And Chance Bateman has not come back out of the room, so he might have some rib damage in there for the Hawks.
Picked it in one, Fanto. He's just come straight back from the rooms behind you. Mark Doran, the Phantom there, and the ghost who walks. He's known around the media circles. Chance Bateman very gingerly just coming back to the interchange bench and has taken his spot. He's in full tracksuit, so he's not looking likely to return either. So it's a war of attrition here at the MCG. 7 points is the margin. As you can see, the skies have cleared again. It's bright and sunny. There's still a bit of a breeze pushing down towards the left of screen. We'll have to wait and see what sort of impact it has in this third term. The Hawks by 7 points. And a genuine chance to snap their 4-game losing streak as we start the third term. Everett and Biglands. Mitchell over the top of it, being dynamic. There's Crawford. Go high inside 50. Tawney goes back with the flight. Almost enough to bring it down. Dixon in there as well. Hard over the top of it. Will have a bounce, leading stat getters to half-time. Crawford 19. Barlow and Mitchell 17. Bateman 15. Cox, Smith and Vandenberg 12 apiece. While for Adelaide, 13 to McLeod, Rashuto, 12 to Gallagher and Massey. Bigland's a tap, but straight down to Crawford. Hawks would love one into the breeze to start the third term. Everett gets boot to ball. It's punched on by Cox. Mitchell, wrapped up by the big-bodied Rashuto. And once he grabs you, Terry, you're going nowhere.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. Look, Adelaide have got a fair bit of work to do in this quarter just to get themselves back into this game. All the indicators at half-time are all pointed towards a Hawthorn victory, so just see what Adelaide come out with.
Crawford's 100th game as captain of the Hawks has been an absolute beauty. It's all tied up, 45 metres out from the Hawks' goal. There's John Cock making a bit of a breather. A big opportunity for the Hawks. They booted 5 goals in that second term with the breeze. Crawford the tackler. He has led by example today. Ties up Bassett.
Well, structurally, nothing much has changed in the Adelaide lineup. They've got Bickley, Rashuto, Biglands and Matner running as their 4 midfielders.
Everett, so good with the ruck work, getting his hands on the ball first. Tawney the tackler. And again, it's a ball up. Still on 50. Conditions have been very tough. We've had some rain, the wind, very, very strong kicking down towards the punt road end. That's the direction that the Adelaide Crows are kicking in this third term. Rashuto the tackler that time on Smith. He booted 2 great goals in the second quarter, coming down from half-back. He's the leading goal kicker for the Hawks, and for the Crows, Chris Laddams has got 2. Came into the side to replace Wayne Carey. So they've forced the ball outside 50. Bickley not having a great day. Hands and knees is Massey. Back to the former skipper, hammers the ball back, and Barlow, who's really found his niche now playing in defence. Vandenberg has been very good today. Started on McLeod. It's been a very interesting duel. McLeod's had it 13 times, and Vandenberg the same number. There's Lance Piccioni on screen. Started his career with the Adelaide Crows. Just the 4 games before moving across to the Hawks. Everett again. First touch to the Hawks. Trying to crash his way through was Tellis. Reese the tackler. Massey caught high. No free kick. Dragged to the ground. It's a ball up on the edge of the centre square.
Well, Hawthorn's physicality today has been a lot better than what we've seen over the last month of football. They've been able to really match it with the Adelaide side in the clinches. They've won the hard balls around the outskirts, and they've tackled very hard as well.
I reckon from the opening bounce, Terry, you could see that the Hawks were switched on. They tried to run the ball at every opportunity. That's shoveled out that time by Smith to Crawford. Back to Piccioni. It was nearly a look-away handball. Smith is quick. Runs away from Laddams. Hammers the ball back towards centre-half forward. Cox was the target, couldn't take it. The quick hands came from Reese. Campbell-Brown on the charge. Backs himself in for Hawthorn. Runs to 45. Closes the 40 and kicks a goal. Against the breeze. Big goal for the Hawks. Campbell-Brown is down to be somewhere in the grandstand, the famous Mel Brown. He'd be happy with that.
That's a tremendous goal against the odds and against the breeze to be able to kick that one, get themselves started, get themselves alight. I was critical of the way they played a few weeks ago, just their style of play, but they've really run and backed themselves in at every opportunity today. It's been great to watch.
Clever kick from Campbell-Brown, kept it low into the breeze. Just had the legs to get there. Hawthorn extend their lead out to 13 points. Bigland's attack. Smith to run on for the Hawks to Tellis. Been irresistible for the last half an hour, Hawthorn. And again through the midfield. Vandenberg wants to take them on. Bigland's back towards half forward. Barlow almost the one-hander. Here's Laddams to Rashudo to lift his side inside 50. It's 2-on-2 down there. Graham gets there first and happy to trot to the line. Almost 5 minutes gone in the third term. It's the Hawks by 13 points. Gary Ayres looking suitably concerned. He knows they're in an old-fashioned scrap this afternoon. Ladder positions mean nothing from here on in. Bigland's a tap. Mitchell's been outstanding. Crawford back to the line.
Well, you'd expect, Jason, if Adelaide were to win this game, you'd expect that they'd need to be at least 2 goals up at three-quarter time. So that's a 4-goal turnaround now. It's a difficult task.
Enormous goal, that one from Campbell-Brown, to blow that lead out to 13 points. Yet to really see how much of a factor the breeze is in the third term as yet. Everett back to the front, and Crawford again runs it out.
Just having a look at the flags, I don't think that there's much change. I think that it's still probably about a 3-goal breeze down that the left side of screen.
Everett. Out of nowhere was Smart. Can he make something out of nothing? Nigel Smart. What a great goal. Well, Adelaide needed some individual brilliance just to spark them in the third term. And in his 259th game, Nigel Smart stepped up to the plate yet again.
He's a great player. He can play at either end of the ground, and he's been able to do that in finals games or just at home and away games. This time we see him as a crumbing player in the forward end, and that's a lovely goal around his body.
Enormous quarter and a half of football coming up for both these sides. The Crows looking to push back to the top 4. Hawthorn looking to turn their year around.
There's the veteran Nigel Smart on screen. He has been a mighty player for the Adelaide Crows. He's dragged it back to a 7-point ball game. Biglands comes charging in. Got a mighty leap, taken away by Mitchell. Pinched it. Been handy today. It's been very good for the Hawks. Going wide that time was Reese. Gets the ball back to Crawford. He's been a star. Hammers the ball towards the half-forward line, and Piccioni pushes Tawney over the line.
Some big news from Mark Doran down on the boundary line. Mark, we saw Lee Colbert involved in a nasty crunch last night with David King.
Yeah, Jason, I've just spoken to Jeff Walsh, the Kangaroos football manager. He has confirmed that Lee is having emergency surgery as we speak for a suspected bleeding pancreas. if that is the case, it will obviously be a delicate operation, and the result of which would put him out for the entire season. It was just a knock Colbert received from teammate David King, innocuous knee to the ribs, and at the moment Lee Colbert's season in doubt.
Thanks for that, Mark, as Risciuto kicks the ball towards centre wing. There was a big pack of players. Bickley feeds it off to General, tries to get it to Burton, who's upended by Mitchell, and takes the free kick. Brett Burton, the goal in the second term, off the ground. Haven't seen any of his trademark big grabs today so far. He's between wing and half back. Kicks down towards the half-forward line. Was looking for McGregor. The Hawks just pile on top and force the ball up.
Well,
Mattner, last man up.
Well, it's characteristic, but Mattner was the last man up, but the next three blokes in were Hawthorn players. They're just getting numbers to the ball in these contests all the time.
70 metres from the Crows' goal as Biglands gets his hands on the ball. Bickley trying to work his way into the game. McLeod, the tackler, hasn't quite had a huge impact on the game today. Just so used to seeing McLeod on the MCG, just with those great breakaways and fantastic speed of foot, just tearing the opposition apart. But it's been tight today. Mitchell's been terrific in close. There was McLeod, thought he had it. Vandenberg has been wearing him closely today. Loose ball. Crows again tied up. Tawney, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Hawthorn players around the ball, and he's dumped.
That's indicative of the game. McLeod had it, was pounced upon. Edwards had it, he was pounced upon. They can't just get the open space. They need to work their magic.
So the Crows, just in their one and only game in the home and away season at the MCG, coming up against a fired-up Hawthorn side. Forced back over the boundary line for a toss back in. 42 plays, 35. It's 5-5 to 6-6, and the Hawks in front.
For Gary Ayres, Terry, how do you release some of your stars to create some space?
Well, you are. You're just wondering where the spark's going to come. I just think that players like Bickley around the ball, they've just got to, and Edwards, the tough players have got to just start to win more possession of the football.
Edwards got it to Burton. Ineffective kick only as far as Cox. High ball back towards half forward. Rawlings from behind. Hart read it beautifully and took the mark. The veteran, Ben Hart, 260 games of football. The age of 28, still got plenty left in him. May not be that many 300-game players in the next few years, but you'd expect he'd be one of them. At ground level, Bickley flicks it out. Mattner throws it on the boot. Inside 50. Hay leads Welsh to the ball. The pitch is on its end. Still alive for Laddams. Tries to turn Osborne inside out. Very clever kick. Beautifully done. He was under pressure. Fortunately for him, he was on his left-hand side and just pulled it back. And Chris Laddams has been most impressive this afternoon.
He has. He's played a wonderful game so far. I just thought Osborne overplayed his right-hand side rather than his left-foot side just a little bit too much. Gave him a little bit too much time and space, but it was beautiful vision and a lovely kick.
So Perry, 40 goals, 39 in his career. Goal kicking has been one area that has let him down over the years. 8 goals, 10 for the season. Vital kick, this one. He trots to 35, stabs at it, and puts it through. It's a one-point ball game at the G. Perry gets his first. Adelaide 6-5-41. The Hawks are 6-6-42. 11 minutes gone, third term.
Well, that's why they're a good side, Adelaide. Just when you just thought after Campbell Brown's goal that they were in a bit of strife and Hawthorn had just built up a lead, they're able to fight back. I think Bickley's got his hands on the ball a couple of times. Edwards just around the packs. They just need to be able to compete at the work face with what Hawthorn have put to them.
Ian Perry with his first goal. Nick Holland has gone back onto him. 6-6 plays, 6-5. Showing plenty of spirit, the Adelaide Crows. Been a good duel too, Everett and Biglands. Mitchell dumped that time by McLeod. Mattner needs clean hands. Good tackle by Tallis. The Horse have been ferocious. Tyson Edwards is a tackler. Over the top is Doughty. And again, it's a ball up, and the ball is still inside the centre square.
Well, I reckon Sam Mitchell's nearly got his hands on the ball first out of the centre bounce nearly every time this quarter.
Well, he's had it 21 times. Only Crawford's had it more times, 23. Bachoni, the juggler, couldn't take it. Thought he hadn't lost it, then just scoops it out. And he's been pinged. Begley. Back edge of the centre square. Plenty of distance, high ball. Big fist away that time came from Stone. Laddams, the danger man. A goal kicker. This time has missed. Scores are level, 6-6 apiece. This has been a titanic struggle. The Crows led by 14 points at quarter time. They trailed by 7 points at half time after the Hawks booted 5 goals in that second term. Scores are now level. Stone. Started his career at Collingwood. Still yet to make himself a name at Hawthorn. Kicks long, hugging the boundary line. Big fist back. Rashudo. Those great hands. Just bullocks his way into trouble. And then out. And a great kick. A drop short has been marked by McGregor. Well, any score will put the Crows in front.
This is one of those kicks that he really has the opportunity of just setting it up and letting the wind do the rest for him. There's wonderful work over in the boundary line by Rashudo. He looked likely to be pushed out of bounds, but on his left foot, centred the ball up, and they've now got an opportunity to go.
He's kicked 2 goals for the season. Distance won't be a problem. Strong breeze behind his back. McGregor trots in, leans back. Right through the centre.
And so the Crows answer. The acid back on Hawthorn as Ben Marsh lips around the boundary line. We've heard from Mark Doran. Cartilage damage in his knee. That's another factor to consider. Both sides down to 2 players on the interchange bench.
It just makes it harder work for those players on the ground, but look, I think the game's still pretty evenly poised. Suggested that they needed Adelaide to be 2 goals in front at three-quarter time at least to be able to get the result done. So, pretty evenly balanced match at this stage.
Great contest at the MCG. Adelaide digging deep. They've come from 13 points down early in this term. They now lead by 6 points. Crawford to Rawlings. Got the hands free, gave it to Bachoni. He goes inside 50. Kane attacked it, got a bad bounce. Bassett at the back. Flips it over the top to Matner. Here comes Kane again. It's attacked the packs ferociously a couple of times this afternoon as Ben Kane in his 5th game of football. The youngster from Upwey Tacoma at the foot of the Dandenongs here in Melbourne. Campbell Brown keeps it alive from on the 50, kicks to the danger zone. Perry tracks back, off his hands, chance for Nick Holland. Perry still there. Burton comes across in support. It'll flip out towards Kane. Burton soccers off the ground. Still alive for the Hawks. Dixon to Cox. Back to Kane. Scrubby kick inside 50. Diffused by Ben Hart. Now the Crows to counter-attack. McLeod releases Burton into open space around the outer wing. Can have a bounce. And then thump it long. Welch is target. He'll have a couple to beat. And does! Great transition football from the Crows. Something we haven't seen enough of. The Gary Ayres is liking this afternoon. The likes of McLeod being released into open space.
And how was the measured handball? He just weighted the ball out in front of Burton so that he could run onto the football. Just lovely play.
Well, every kick seems to be a big kick in the context of this game. This would give Adelaide a 2-goal lead at the 16-minute mark, with still another 15 minutes or so with the breeze. Welch, 45 metres out, tucks it left. It's going to the line, it's still alive. Ground level, it's still there. In the end, Nick Stone decides discretion to be the better part of valour and concedes the behind. The margin now 7 points. We've gone 17 minutes in the 3rd term. Adelaide have added 3 goals too. The Hawks 1 goal.
Hawthorn have now got to back themselves in and keep playing that possession football that they're playing early in the game. just can't afford to tighten up at all.
Less than 8 minutes on the clock in the third. As Jade Rawlings decides to thump it long. Barlow is target. McGregor and Doughty will both fly. Doughty at ground level. Wrapped up. Ferocious tackle from Joel Smith. Tackles this afternoon 38-32 in favour of Hawthorn. Clearances 28-25. Sam Mitchell with 9 clearances for the Hawks.
So it's a ball up just outside 50. Biglands and Everett, they've been at it all day. Vandenberg been very good for Hawthorn. Piccioni paddling the ball long in front's got to go hard. Bassett is the tackler.
Himself without it, KB. It'll come back to Piccioni.
So Piccioni on centre wing. 7-7-49 the Crows. 6-6-42 the Hawks. Cox spears the ball in. Looking for Holland. Needs a kind bounce. Needs support. Dragged to the ground. Perry, strong tackle. The ball up 45 metres from Hawthorn's goal.
They've just got him over the shoulder here. Just there.
Again, they lock horns. This time, Perry comes over, slaps the ball down. Tallis's kick went backwards. Chance for Hart. Danger here for the Hawks. Try to pop it up in front. McGregor's got to run onto the ball. Stone, the chaser and tackler, closed quickly. Was he called high, McGregor? No. Holding the ball, play on, says the umpire. Chance for Barlow with great hands. Feeds the ball off. Standing and delivers. Vandenberg back towards the half-forward line. Holland was running with a flight. Intercepted that time by Begley. Spears the ball into Bickley. The general, can he set it up? Goes short. Tyson Edwards looks dangerous. Too much carry on the ball. Chance now for Hay, pushing and shoving the ball. Going in hard that time was Osborne. It was great play by the youngster. Put the ball very quickly. The race is on. Crawford. He's been magnificent today. The House of Bolger has been a ratings winner. That man on screen has led by example, Shane Crawford.
Just his attack on the football, he just worked so hard. There was no way known that anyone else was going to win possession of the ball once Osborne got rid of it, apart from Crawford or the boundary line.
Everett to Mitchell. We've seen that many times today. Ugly bounce. Holland bundled off the ball that time by Perry. Goes short, they can raffle it. Bingo. Lucky number 11, Doughty. Started on the bench. Came on, replaced Goodwin. He's gone off with a bad wrist injury, we believe. As the ball is thumped back towards the goal square where Hay takes a telling mark to Rawlings. Some rebound football now by the Hawks. Graham trying to find some touch also for the Hawks. Goes wide. Piccioni trying to slide into the action. Tawney intercepted. Magnificent play by Graham, the veteran. He's inspired as well. Pumps the ball back towards the half-forward line. Campbell Brown overruns the ball. Bassett close to the line. Brown disappointed he didn't quite get the run of the ball.
He's been very good, Mark Graham, today as well. I just thought from the opening bounce he really set himself to have a big match, and he's done a great job in the defensive end.
Michael Osborne electing to stay out on the ground, been hobbling. The doctor came out to him and shoot him away. Wants to continue. There's Mitchell again. He's had 10 clearances. Make that 11. He got it to Barlow. Dribbles towards half forward. Cox and Bassett. Massey to clean up for Adelaide. To Burton. To Bassett. Hoists it high. Stand underneath it and play fair. Burton to Bickley. Frustrated Mark Bickley. Just hasn't quite been his day so far. He's had 11 possessions. Yet to really have an influence on the game. Less than 5 minutes remaining in the third term. It's the Crows by 7 points. Over the back of the congestion. Piccioni softened it to the advantage of Kane. Runs to 55. Puts it out in front of Cox. Awkward bounce. Holland dishes it back to Cox. Wheels onto his left. From 45 to the goal square. Dixon. Not paid. Seemed to have a lot of it. Tawney to Massey. The Crows dodge a bullet. To the members' wing. Doughty one-on-one with Tallis and beats him. So Michael Doughty squares it up to the run of Bassett at centre half-back. Goes looking for McGregor. Rawlings goes back with the flight, brings it to ground. Chance for Hart. Looks up. Has got McGregor breaking inside 50 and he takes the mark. Well, Rawlings came crunching into that marking contest, got up a bit gingerly. McGregor just ran off hard. got by himself inside 50.
Well, noticing the kick down the other end where Dixon nearly took the mark, the ball held up, the Simon Cox kick, the ball held up so much. The advantage that Adelaide have got at the moment is not enough. They really need this goal if they're going to have any chance to win the game. I just don't think they've got a big enough lead at this point.
Certainly close to a mark for Ben Dixon. The question was, did it end up stationary in his hands? Maybe for a split second. Nonetheless, the ball is with McGregor. Tries to sneak it inside the left post, but can't do so. Behind. 1-1 this term for Ken McGregor. And the margin now 8 points. We've gone 22 and 3/4 minutes in the third term. Just over 3 minutes remaining. Smith to bring it back into play. As Ladson comes on for Osborne, who will come to the bench to receive some medical attention, has been struggling for the last couple of minutes. Smith goes looking for Mitchell. He finds it at defensive 50. The possession 24. Best game he's ever played for the Hawks. His previous best was 22 against Port Adelaide in round 3. In Geelong, he also had 21 touches last year. Now, he's up to 24 and playing a blinder. Kick holds up in the breeze. Hart picks it off. He's got a man in the centre of the ground. Spots him now. And goes to Massey. He looks up. Spears it inside 50 to Smart. Gutsy from Campbell Brown. War one for his team, and he is down and out. Crawford explodes away. How inspirational if the Hawks could go from this, and they're a chance. Through Holland. Brown is still down and in all sorts of trouble. While seasons are turned around on acts of individual courage like that.
He's getting a huge ovation from the Hawthorn supporters. He's one of their genuine favourites, just the manner in which he goes about playing his football.
Got a problem with his left shoulder or AC joint. And if Nick Holland can go back and kick this, they will run to Campbell Brown from all directions and the Hawks will be inspired. 2 minutes remaining in the third term. Huge kick for Nick Holland. From 45 metres out. It's going. It's going. It's home. 2 points the margin. Nick Holland gets his second. And in the blink of an eye, you get a 2-goal turnaround thanks to Campbell Brown.
Well, it's amazing how small things can win games of football. And we see Nigel Smart was going to take a chest mark. He would have kicked the goal from there without any worries. But Campbell Brown's efforts to put his body on the line for his football club has turned it around and really has put Hawthorn in a commanding position now where they've got a real chance to win the game.
2 goals, that man on screen, Nick Holland, one in the second quarter, one in this third term, but you can jot that down to Campbell Brown. Inspiring stuff for the Hawks. It was a 2-goal turnaround. The Crows by just 2 points. The Hawks with the wind to come in the last quarter. At their backs, high ball. Can the Crows just snap a goal in these dying moments? So this third quarter, taken away by Barlow, goes wide. It's a great kick. But Choney didn't have to break stride. Here's Rawlings on a long, long lead. He's got it. Rockets the ball back to Sam Mitchell. Red letter day for that young man. Cross half back, Matner. Repels the attack, hammers the ball back towards centre half forward. Stone somehow got the ball back to Crawford, who just paddles the ball along in front. Going to ground was Cox. Ladson has just come onto the field for Hawthorn. Welsh around the corner, high ball back to centre half forward. That man Brown again.
Can't move his left arm, KB.
Well, courage personified by Campbell Brown. He has been crunched hard by Smart. He won't leave the field. And that's a rarity in this day and age, Terry, because generally if you get a sore big toe, you're straight off the ground.
Well, I think it's been really good that the Hawthorn hierarchy have actually left him out there and let him work his way through it as well.
That's what his dad yelled out from the grandstand. Get up. Hart rockets the ball back to Bickley. They'll share it around as Begley pumps the ball back, but has been marked by Simon Cox. Going to take a big effort by the Crows today. They lead by 2 points, 7-8-50. The Hawks 7-6-48. Just 17 seconds left in this third term. So the Hawks, with a strong breeze at their back in the last quarter, just might pull off a big upset. Hay. He's on half-back. He's in no hurry. As the siren sounds at three-quarter time. It's been a struggle, but it's the Crows by 2 points. 7-8-50 to the Hawks, 7-6-48.
Jason, I've got the result of Simon Goodwin's x-ray on that injured right wrist, and it's not good. There is a fracture there which will probably put him out for between 6 and 8 weeks. A shocking injury toll Adelaide from this match. Just over to the side, Ben Marsh is sitting all alone on the bench with cartilage damage to his knee, an injury that will also put him out for some time as well. So whether they win or lose, the Crows aren't going to walk away smiling from this one.
And on the other side of the ledger, Robert Campbell has hurt his knee for the Hawks. Chance Bateman has a rib problem, and as we saw, Campbell Brown looks to have some sort of problem with his shoulder or AC joint. You can see there he cannot lift that left arm, and he's coming to the interchange bench as well. Inspirational effort in that third term. Reminds me a little bit of Rory Hilton and David Neitz last year in about round 2 or 3. He put his body on the line and wore one for the team. That was the end of Rory Hilton's season. We hope that Campbell Brown hasn't suffered the same fate.
Well, sometimes you've just got to be prepared to put your body on the line to get the result done, and it takes sacrifices like that to win games of football, and there's no doubt that that's what Campbell Brown did then. Adelaide really had a good hard talk, Gary Ayres had a good hard talk to his men. Mark Rasciuto having 17 possessions, it's just not enough footy in the midfield, and I'm not saying him, but there's 17 as the number one person in the team. It's just not enough possessions. They've got to generate some more ball.
We saw Adelaide assistant coach Neil Craig there, just giving some last-minute instructions. There's some real urgency and desperation here amongst the Adelaide Crows. They know they're in a scrap. Final term at the MCG as the lights come on. Adelaide 7-8, Hawthorn 7-6. It's been a wonderful contest all afternoon. Two honest and committed sides, giving it everything. Who will prevail? Bounce favours Everett. Into the path of Crawford. Chance for Reese. To Smith. High ball to the 50. Beckley comes across, creates a contest, brings it to ground. Mitchell to Holland to Crawford was brilliant. Releases Latson. Hawks are in front. What a start to the final term. Some very important players in the context of this game this afternoon involved in that chain. And the Hawks just kept it going.
Well, you've got to say that Shane Crawford's had a wonderful game as the captain, but I think Sam Mitchell's actually overtaken him now as the best player on the ground. His ability to win the ball first up out of the packs and just get the Hawks generating and going and running forward has been wonderful today.
It's when Hawthorn are at their most dangerous, KB, when they're pumped up, they're excited, they're motivated, and they've got their self-belief back.
Yes, and that young boy, he's only playing his 5th game, but he has kicked 4 goals in his career so far, so he's shown himself to be a bit of a goal kicker, and I like his enthusiasm. Everett gets his hands on the ball. Mitchell again at the bottom of the pack. Underline his performance today in red ink. Sam Mitchell won the Liston Trophy last year, playing for the Box Hill Hawks, taking a big step in his career today.
Well, he's had 11 clearances for the game and 8 hard ball gets. He's just in and under first all the time. Can
the Crows come back? They're a proud side. Smith hammers the ball back towards centre forward. Dixon struggled today. Doughty again. 2 and 3 Hawthorn players at the player with the ball. Their tackling has been superb. Gary Ayres just looking on. Terry Moore on the phone. Played with the Hawks and also with the Kangaroos. Rasciuto, the raging bull, is dumped.
One of his other generals, Gary Ayres, is Peter Curran, another ex-Hawk.
8-6-55 the Hawks, the Crows 7-8-50. It's been tight all day. Adelaide by 14 points at quarter time. They trailed by 7 points at half time. They led by 2 points at three-quarter time. And now the Hawks are in front by 4 as Dixon closes very quickly on Bassett. It's a boundary throw in just 35 metres around from the Hawks' goal. And the Hawthorn supporters behind the punt road end, left the screen, are starting to chant. Starting to fire up the Hawks. They've only won the 3 games this year. Their coach, Peter Srobb, has been under the hammer since round 1. Taken away by Smith. Joel Smith, high ball. Rawlings is getting back. running with a fly to the ball and forced over the line for a behind.
So we take a breath. The margin 5 points. 3 minutes gone, final term.
If Adelaide are to win this game, they're just going to have to run and carry the ball, use their hands, take a lot of risks, and just be prepared to run and carry the footy as much as possible.
Hart pumps it long. Biglan's a couple to beat. Everett with the fist. Only as far as Bickley. Goes looking for Edwards. One-on-one with Osborne. It's spilt to Laddams. Here's a chance for Adelaide through Rashudo. Goes inside 50. Smart on the bounce. Had Graham right alongside to put the pressure on. Stone crashed through. Tallis dives on top of it. They wrap him up. Doughty. He's taken in a tackle by Smith. Of a bounce 40 metres out from Adelaide's goal.
Even that kick from Rashudo, it's almost playing perfect football, and you can't play perfect football going up into the breeze. I would have rather just seen him feed the ball to McLeod and let McLeod run and carry the ball up the ground. Just got to hang on to it a bit.
Everett. Rashudo tried to grab it out of the air. Smart. Wrapped up by Graham. And the Hawks have been so good at, if they don't win the clearances themselves, they're preventing Adelaide from exploding away from the congestion.
They've just had numbers 3s and 4s around the footy the whole game.
Biglan's and Everett again. It's been an interesting battle. McLeod taken high. The tackle from Smith just slipped over the shoulder. He hasn't had a free run at the football too many times this afternoon. They've got room for improvement in some of their stars. As you said, Rashudo with 18, McLeod's had 14, Bickley 13, Edwards 10. So they're renowned ball getters week in, week out. All capable of lifting this great side. McLeod wants to take him on by foot. Gets a zone. Great effort from that man Mitchell again to lay the smother. Then lays a tackle on Biglan's. McLeod will go again inside 50. And it is emphatically smashed away by Joel Smith. The Hawks just want it. They can taste it at the moment.
Yeah, great play by Sam Mitchell, but nothing wrong with McLeod's action. He couldn't make the distance from where he was, so it's worth taking a risk, trying to step around and see whether you can make up a couple of metres.
Still inside 50 for Adelaide. Spills to the back of the congestion. There's Mitchell. Boot to ball. Rees attacks it. Got a bad bounce. Bassett at the back. Dixon to beat. Got boot to ball. Doughty versus Tallis. Tallis used the body. Crawford comes careering through. Lost the football. Then just flies it to the line. Deliberate. Big ball to win for the Crows. And Doughty has it on the outer side.
He's on centre wing. Jane Crawford, that's his first mistake today. They find Massey. Now the run will come from Begley through the centre square. Can some of the big guns stand up in this last quarter for the Crows? Rashudo and also McLeod. They loom as the danger men. Somehow they always pull something out. Rawlings is on centre wing in space. Goes short. He was looking for Holland. Pushed off the ball. It was a good contest with Perry. Hart. Been very good today. He's a top player. This is a beautiful kick. And he finds Welsh. Bickley. Outside of 50. To the front of the square, so danger here for the Hawks. Everett gets back, the big fist from behind came from Hay. Pounced on that time by Smart. Tries to tunnel ball it back to Edwards. There's a goal kicker, 48 metres out. Long ball, right to the line. Crawford just floats across in front and then hammers the ball back towards the boundary line. Laddams is quick. Got good support from Tawney. They're sharing the ball around. Doughty's got it. Takes them on. Clever play. Again, danger for the Hawks. High flyer was Biglan's. Floated across in front. It's a loose ball, front of the goal square. Trying to get the ball out is Smart. Burrow trying to get the ball, but there's a ball up. Here's Mark Doran.
KB, Campbell Brown down on the bench is suffering damage to his AC joint. He wants to try and come back on, but I don't think he'll be able to. That will leave the Hawks with just one interchange play, while interestingly for the Crows, Graham Johncock is still on the bench, spent most of the match there after getting a serve at quarter time.
Well, a goal here to the Crows would be inspiring stuff. And there's a mark. Matner.
Crawford claiming it's not 15, and it's a reasonable argument. It's come from the top of the goal square.
Well, Matner has marked. He's only kicked one goal for the season. This is his 16th game of AFL football. So it's an important kick for this young man. This to put the Crows back in front. Kicking against the wind in this last quarter. Matner from just 20 metres out. Kicks a goal. Does he? He's missed. Wow. He had the support of his teammates, but not the goal umpire.
They didn't go up behind the goals, KB.
Well, there's no one there. There's not one person behind the goal.
They went up as one. The bloke in the white stacker.
He wasn't even behind the goals. He's 15 metres away from the goals.
And he only got up because he had to go get the footy.
Well, they're peppering Adelaide. They've had the last 5 inside 50s, as we saw on the red alert.
Cox, long to the outer side. Graham forced a contest, brought it to ground. Doughty, shut down. Graham again. Mitchell in there fighting. Doughty goes again. What a game this has been. 13 minutes remaining. Still well and truly up for grabs. The Hawks by 4 points. The Crows are coming at them.
Well, Crows has just started to win a little bit more of the ball around the packs again, and that's the only way they're going to get back into the game.
Biglan's a tap, but straight to Tallis. It's boot to ball. Reese attacks it for the Hawks. Pressure from Begley. Play on's the call. McLeod out wide. Burton tries to step around Ladson, does so successfully. Kicks to the 50. McGregor can't quite get there. Smith and Bickley attacked it. Tallis piles in on top. And another bounce 60 metres out from Adelaide's goal.
I reckon the Crows have just lifted the last 5 minutes, Terry. A lot of their big guns are starting to put their bodies on the line. A lot of blokes working hard. It's going to be tough now for the Hawks.
Yeah, every time there's been a loose ball, Adelaide's mopped it up in the last 5 minutes.
Burton uses his leap to get it to Laddams inside 50. Smart juggles it. Caught one high, said the umpire from Stone. McGregor picks it up and snaps a goal. And it's going to be paid. Advantage goal. Wow. McGregor's got his second. Smart all but took the mark, ran into the hip of Nick Stone. McGregor pounced on the loose one and snapped it after everyone had stopped.
Well, look, I have no problem with the free kick being paid as we just watch it again. Nick Stone, you just can't run into a player face on like that. There was no problems with that, but everyone else stopped when the goal was kicked. You've got to sometimes wonder about the advantage rule.
You can see it there, Mark Graham literally stopped. McGregor got a free shot at goal as Graham turned around waiting for the free kick.
Well, there's a lesson to be learnt there. Never stop. But with that passage of play, you just had the feeling that the Crows were going to kick a goal because they have lifted. Chance now for the Hawks. Centre square, tunnel ball out that time by Everett. Danger now. Here comes McLeod. Spears the ball in. Risciuto as a target. So's McGregor. The skipper's got it. Clever kick to the front of the square. Smart. Had it and lost it. Welsh. Quick hands. Tyson Edwards. Quick snap. Kicks a goal. Great play by the Crows. They will not go away. 2 quick goals. And they've turned this game on its head.
It's an amazing game, football, isn't it? When you're in a winning frame of mind, as the Adelaide side have been, you never think you're out of the game. And contrary to Hawthorn have just really stopped a little bit over the last 5 minutes, just not knowing how to win the match.
So 2 goals in a minute transform this game yet again. Adelaide now with the advantage out to an 8-point lead. Can the Hawks lift again? It's Adelaide out of the middle through Biglan's. Inside 50, McGregor. And we're seeing why Adelaide are such a great side.
It's been a wonderful performance. I mean, they were in real trouble early in this quarter, but they've just been able to pick it up. And as you said, KB, it's been most of their key players, their senior players that have been the ones that have lifted.
They did it against the Bulldogs a couple of weeks ago. They're doing it again so far this afternoon, the last 8 inside 50s. The Hawks just need to win some football. Get it down their end. It's only 8 points the margin. This kick from McGregor could make it 14 points. We've only played 12 minutes in the final term. From 48 metres out, McGregor just pokes at it. Right to the line. Graham assisted through behind. So the margin now 9 points. Hawthorn have possession.
Well, you'd be nervous if you're a Hawthorn supporter at this stage, because this has been against the trend of the match, what Adelaide are doing at the moment, but the Hawks are nowhere near out of this match.
Smith with the kick in. Numbers to the members' side. Tallis and Laddams. Laddams got the fist through the hands of Burton. Barlow tiptoes through the traffic. Handball to Vandenberg. Eludes McLeod. Got a man inside. It's Cox. He can get it and go. Thumps it long. Rawley's target. Just worked underneath it by Hart. Play on, said the umpire. Hart twists and turns. Gives it to Tawney. He goes backward to Massey. And they work it out to Bassett. Good cool heads in defence, Adelaide. Just seeing their experience in this final term. They've settled well. To Massey. To Hart. He goes to the wing and finds Bickley. To half forward, Bicklins and Everett. Big ball to win this one. Everett got it to ground. And it rolls to the line. And again, the senior players just taking control in the middle of the field. And Hawthorn having to chase some tail in the final term, as evidenced by that stat. Tackles 10-1.
Well, how about the efforts of Ben Hart in the back line? Just his poise and his balance, and then his run-off created 2 or 3 opportunities for Adelaide.
Possessions 38-19 in the final term. Adelaide's way 2-1. And inside 50s 8-3, a reflection of that. Ladson taken forward in a tackle by Dowdy. Free kick Hawthorn. Under 10 minutes remaining. They trail by 9 points. They need the next one. Plenty of time. They've just got to stop Adelaide's flow. To Rees, to Smith. And the Hawks have controlled the football for the last couple of minutes. To Cox. Punched away by Perry. Vandenberg couldn't gather. Osborne lays a tackle on Beckley. Goes again. And about 60 metres out from the Hawthorn goal.
I think KB, Hawthorn have just got to change the mix a little bit in the middle. They haven't got many interchange players. They've had the same blokes on the ball for the whole time. Just think now you've just got to generate and try to do something a little bit different.
And he got one fit player on the bench, the Hawks.
Yes. Well, both sides have struggled. It's been a battlefield today in terms of injury. Loose ball, chance for the Hawks, just 20 metres out from goals. Ladson goes to the ground, Mitchell with quick hands. Chance for Cox. Shakes his head. He has missed. They trail by 8 points. That was a goal he should have got. Should have nailed that goal. Simon Cox. Hart's been great today. What a player he's been for the Crows. Looking for Perry. Couldn't take the mark. Mitchell has been magnificent for the Hawks. Somehow just shoveled that ball out. Here comes McLeod, the champ. Takes him on. The king of the midfielders to the half-forward flank. Drops short. Getting back this time is Hay. And takes the grab in front of Burton. Jonathan Hay. Wanting it short. Is Nick Stone, who elects to kick long with the breeze. Everett's going to be the target. Put him on the chest. Perry, hands and knees. Pinched that time by Rees. Mitchell, what a workhorse he's been today. Inside 50. Big chance for the Hawks. Rawlings tackled that time by Hart. The consummate defender. Forces over the line for a toss back in. Hart's been terrific today. He's had it 17 times. Massey has played the game of his life. In the back half for the Crows, he's had it 20 times, leading possession winner. Taken away by Edwards, smothered off the boot. But Choney going nowhere.
Mitchell again with the smother.
It's 40 metres out from Hawthorn's goal. They trail 9-10-64. The Hawks are 8-8-56. The Crows by 8 points after leading by 2 points at three-quarter time, kicking against the breeze.
It's just caught up with Hawthorn a little bit, just having the one set of midfielders. Mitchell, Crawford, Vandenberg, those blokes have been on the ball virtually the whole game, KB, and just wears thin by the end of the match, and they've probably run out of a little bit of legs at this point in time.
Well, Crawford's just been a bit quiet in the last 5 minutes. He's got Mattner picking him up. McLeod pulled off the ball. Speaking of the devil, Crawford gives it across. Vandenberg! Can hammers it home. Hawks now within 2 points. It's going down to the wire.
Well, what a match. And very uncharacteristic that you see McLeod make a mistake like that. But once again, the Hawthorn boys, 2 players tackling him. The pressure's been on for most of the game from Hawthorn. They create the turnover. And Richie Vandenberg, he's worked very, very hard today for his 20 disposals and deserved the goal.
So the margin back to 2 points. The Hawks come again. We've gone 18 minutes, just over 7 remaining. And this game deserves a grandstand finish. Edwards to Matner. Great tackle from Piccioni, holding the ball. Pinned the arm. Nothing Matner could do on that occasion. So Piccioni, 15th touch. To Tallis. Inside 50. Crawford, spectacular, couldn't quite get there. Edwards taken in a tackle by Holland. Crawford again, releases Tallis. Steps inside, misses Reese with a handball. Bigley to Tawney. He's taken down by Ledson. Tallis goes again. It comes to Reese. He snaps. He bangs it back. We'll wait on it. Hawks are in front. Unbelievable. What a passage of play from both sides. Throwing themselves in. Tackling, pressuring, smothering, harassing. In the end, Hawthorn's forward 50. They won just deserves for that hard work.
Well, there's no doubt that Hawthorn's tackling in this last couple of minutes has turned the game back their way. From the tackle in the middle of the ground, which got the free kick to start it off, there must have been 5 or 6 Hawthorn players tackled in.
Hawthorn cheer squad in full voice. Urging on the brown and the gold. They lead by 4 points, 10-8-68 to 9-10-64. Crawford overruns the ball, Bickley. And Crawford hugged the Sherrin on the ground.
Well, you just knew, KB, that they were going to have another run at it. With the breeze going their direction, they were always going to come back into the game, and now it's just an arm wrestle.
Everett in the ruck. Now, the whistle is gone. And he's got the free kick. You would think he would belt this long. It's a shocking kick, just scrubs it off the boot. Begley's got Reese to beat. His confidence will be high. He's just kicked the last goal. The young man taken away by McLeod. Maybe a bit of magic to Dowdy. McLeod runs the ball from centre wing, carries the ball well inside 50. Looking for Rashudo. The 2 champs on that occasion not able to pull it off. Boundary throw in. 40 metres around from the Crows' goal. .68 plays, 64. Biglands and Everett. Oh, Lockhorns, Smith's all tied up in the tackle. Kicked a couple of goals in the first half, Joel Smith. Streaming out of defence. Such an important player for the Hawks.
Just see Peter Schwab on screen there. Be a wonderful win for both Peter Schwab but also the Hawthorn Football Club. They've been down for a month under a lot of pressure. This will be really good for them.
And again, the free kick goes to the Hawks. Everett in the ruck duel against Biglands.
On the flip side to that would be a shock loss to the Adelaide Footy Club. It really put them under a bit of pressure.
So Everett, can he kick it better than he did last time? This is a bit better. Then you carry with the breeze. Looked like a free kick to Hawthorn. Nick Holland, he's on centre wing. Time clock ticking away. It's under 5 minutes in this last quarter. Nick Holland. Kicked 2 goals today. Kicks it towards centre half forward. Bickley and Crawford. They go to ground. And it's a ball up. Working the phones. Terry Moore and Gary Ayres. Look like they were talking to each other. Hawthorn chant goes around the ground as McLeod hammers the ball back towards the centre square. Good tackle by Biglands on Osborne. Picked up by Cox. Simon Cox running with the flight of the ball. is Mitchell, who's been supreme today, to Crawford. They're two best players, and they find Holland. Well, that was significant. Mitchell and Crawford have destroyed the Adelaide midfield today, and they have combined to get it to Nick Holland, who has kicked 2 goals, one in the second quarter, one in the third. And this is his most important kick today, to put the Hawks 10 points up. And there's only 3.5 minutes left in the game. What a kick. Let's watch the Hawthorn fans from behind the goals, because if he kicks it, they will go up as one, and the roar will tell the story.
Nick Holland kicks his third. The margin out to 10 points. We've played 23 minutes. Amazing quarter of football. The Hawks started 2 points behind. Ladson's goal put them in front. They snuck away. Adelaide snuck away, and now the Hawks have snuck away again.
Well, it's been a long time in coming, Jason. We thought right from the start of the game Hawthorn looked on today, but it's taken right until the last 5 minutes of the game to really get their ascendancy.
Nick Holland's third goal. He's just saying to the players, settle down, boys, there's time to go. We've only played 24 minutes. The margin 10 points. We've seen Adelaide turn it around with a couple of goals in a minute already this term. Smith, an important ball out of the middle. Still 3 minutes remaining. Here's Ladson. Handball to Tallis from 45 out. Just tugs it left. Gary Ayres in the Adelaide coach's box breathe again. The margin now 11 points. 2 straight goals will win it for the Crows. They have it at full-back. 3 minutes remaining. There's Peter Schwab. Hawthorn have lost their last 4. Thumping kick straight up the middle. Everett used the body. Umpire said pay the mark.
I think the big spider fancies his chances here.
Can't lose either way, even if he runs the clock down. He's thinking, just eat up a bit of time. Thump it long into attack. See if they can manufacture something. It goes to the goal square. It could float to the back. Free kick, advantage paid. It's coming to Hart. Just over 2 minutes remaining for the Crows. Crawford. Possession 31 for Shane Crawford. And he and Sam Mitchell, between them, 63 possessions this afternoon. They have been outstanding. What a dynamic duo for the Hawks to look forward to in the years to come. Throw in the likes of Luke Hodge into that mix as well. It's the makings of pretty impressive and determined midfield as Crawford goes inside 50. Bassett with the fist. Mitchell tried to flip it out. Here's a chance for the Crows to break off half back through Massey. Must go long and direct. No one inside 50 at all for Adelaide. It was Burton held. It's picked off by that man Crawford, who was at half forward just a moment ago. A nest of Hawks on the outer side. Graham can go forward to Holland. He snaps around his body. Cox. Dowdy will get to him and fist it to the line. Adelaide fans, filthy that Brett Burton didn't get a free kick moments ago.
Well, I've got to say, I don't think they've had a great run from the umpires today, Adelaide. I can understand why they've got a few complaints, but what about Shane Crawford's last 5 minutes?
Free kicks 19-11. Biglands tries to get it out. McLeod to Tawney. Last roll of the dice time for Adelaide. Handball to Massey. They're away through the middle. It's one-on-one inside 50. Dixon's read it off the boot. Still alive for Smart. Bursts through. Barlow, a goal-saving tackle. It's still there for McGregor, and he kicks a goal. It's not over yet. McGregor gets his third. The margin back to 5 points. We've played 27 minutes, and somehow, Terry, we knew this one was going to the wire.
Well, it certainly is going to the wire. Well, that's pretty amazing. What about the hand pass from Nigel Smart? The tackling was magnificent from the Hawthorn side, but still had the presence of mind, not just to throw it out, but actually find the target. And he found his man in McGregor, who did the rest.
The Hawks by 5 points. Can the Crows pinch it? Under a minute left. Everett won the tap, taken by Doughty, picked up by Big Spider and hammers the ball back inside 50. Rawlings couldn't quite make ground. Thumped forward that time by Perry. Taken away by Crawford. Gives it across to Petroni. He's only got to get a bounce to kick a goal. Somehow, it took an eternity. Shocking kick. Chance now for Tawney. Was that a monumental mistake? Chance now for Doughty to bring the ball away. Running off back flank. Massey hammers the ball back. Risciuto looks dangerous. McGregor! McGregor has got it! 13 seconds left. He's kicking into the breeze. It's going to take a mighty kick by Ken McGregor. Will he be the hero? He's kicked 3 goals, 2 in this last quarter. From right on 50, they never mark. It's siren time. The Hawks have won. The Hawks have won. 11-9-75 to the Adelaide Crows, 10-10-70, and that man on screen, Shane Crawford, has been magnificent today. The coach's stocks have got to go up today, because if anyone says that Hawthorn didn't play with spirit, didn't play for the coach today, they weren't at the MCG, because it was a committed Hawthorn side today, and they pulled off a big victory.
And if you didn't love this game, you don't love football. That had everything. What a fantastic contest. Ball was in mid-flight. Biglands was making his way to market. Siren sounded. He marks it. Hawthorn win by 5 points.
Well, it was a physical challenge, and that's the one thing that from the opening bounce, Hawthorn decided that they were going to make this a tough, uncompromising match. They took risks. They deserved their victory, and it's a just deserved victory for everyone at the Hawthorn Footy Club. And look, I think it's great for the coach, who's been under enormous pressure. I think it's wonderful for him, and the players have really supported him, and they've got their just desserts.
Well, they supported him in the best way possible today, because from the very first bounce, they were solid, they were hard at the ball. Their tackling today was the best I've seen Hawthorn today. 61 tackles from Hawthorn today. They played with enormous spirit, and Peter Swart has been under a lot of pressure. And some people even suggest, you know, has he lost the players? Well, you can tell today he hasn't lost these Hawthorn players, because I dare say there's a big smile inside Peter Swart.
Let's head down to the boundary line. All the action and the motion. Here's Mark Doran.
Thanks, Sammy Mitchell. Fantastic stuff personally and as a unit.
Yeah, it was great to, get up. We've lost 4 in a row, and it's really good to get a win on the board. Yep.
How hard has it been for the boys with us guys in the media down on you every week?
Yeah, I think the first couple of weeks probably got to us a little bit, and then after that, we were, really solid, and we stuck together, and really, we wanted really well over the last couple of weeks. I think that helped us out tonight.
And you had to have the answers, didn't you? They just kept coming, the Crows.
Yeah, they kept coming. They're a great football side. No doubt they're going to feature prominently throughout the year, and full credit to them. It's just, I guess we lost 4 in a row. We really needed to win.
You and the skipper didn't have a competition to see who'd get the most possessions, did you? The two of you had so much of it.
Shane, what can you say? He's copped it as much as anyone in the media, and to stand up like that tonight, shows the great player that he is.
All right, mate. Go and enjoy it. I think the coach wants to have a sing of the song.